Parker Schnabel's journey to wealth is a super exciting story that started with his grandfather John Schnabel chasing gold in the Klondike back in the early 1900s. Even though there were lots of tough times, John's hard work paid off and made him a millionaire miner. Inspired by his grandfather, Parker started mining when he was only 5 years old. By the time he was 16, he was already running his own claim and people called him a mining prodigy. But just how rich has Parker become? The answer might really surprise you. So the Schnabel story and the Klondike all started way back in the early 1900s. A young John Schnabel packed his bags and headed north chasing that gold dream. And one thing's for sure, it wasn't easy. Those early years were rough, with lots of hardships and tons of failures. But John was built differently. He kept going, learned everything the hard way, and finally found success. Decades of mining made him really good, turning him into one of the most experienced miners in the Klondike. By the time he got older, John Schnabel was sitting on a multi-million-dollar gold pile, all thanks to his hard work and determination. The Schnabel legend wasn't done yet. Enter Parker, John's grandson. From a young age, Parker looked up to his grandpa and soaked up gold mining knowledge like a sponge. Even as a kid, you could tell Parker had a natural talent for mining, and he was super determined to keep the family business going strong. This passion for gold started really young, way younger than you might expect. Parker Schnabel's story in the gold game starts way back when he was just 5 years old. His grandpa John, who was a total mining legend, let little Parker tag along with the crews to the mines near Haines, Alaska. Most kids that age are all about cartoons and Legos, but Parker was hooked. The sound of the machines, the dirt flying, and the coolest part: seeing real gold come out of the ground. Forget video games, it was like a real-life treasure hunt for him. As Parker grew up, his love for gold mining only got stronger. By 10, he was already running tiny excavators and sorting for gold under his grandpa's watchful eye. Turns out Parker had a sixth sense for finding gold, even better than some seasoned miners. When Parker hit 16, John decided to give him a serious challenge. He leased a part of his own claim to Parker, meaning Parker was in charge of everything, the bills, the profits, the whole thing. People were like, whoa, a 16-year-old running a mine? Crazy. But Parker wasn't scared. He put together a crew of local miners, worked his tail off, and used his gold-finding magic to pull out serious amounts of gold. News of this teenage mining whiz spread like wildfire, and soon Parker Schnabel was being called a prodigy, destined to become just as legendary as his grandpa. By 2012, Parker was already a Yukon gold-digging boss. Dude was pulling in serious cash and leaving seasoned prospectors in the dust with his smarts and fancy new mining tricks. This young prodigy caught the eye of some reality TV people who were itching to make a show about, you guessed it, gold mining. They offered Parker a wild idea: let a camera crew follow him around for a brand new show on Discovery Channel called Gold Rush. Parker, ever the businessman and maybe a little showman, saw this as a golden opportunity, pun intended, to spread his wings and share his family's legacy with the world. After a quick chat with Grandpa John, Parker said yes, and Gold Rush was born. From the very first episode, Parker became a superstar. Viewers couldn't get enough of his youthful energy, his brain packed with gold knowledge, and the way he hustled like nobody's business. Gold Rush blew up, and Parker Schnabel became a household name, one of the hottest young guns in the gold mining game. But the fame didn't slow him down one bit. He doubled down on his Porcupine Creek operation, bringing in bigger, better machines and a whole new crew. Parker got creative, used his wits to develop killer mining strategies, and kept on smashing his own gold record season after season. We're talking about pulling in over 3,000 ounces of gold in a single season by his early 20s. That's millions of dollars. Parker took his TV fame and his mining genius and turned it into an empire. He set new bars for making money and getting the most gold out of the ground. Thanks to Gold Rush and his own undeniable talent, Parker went from a promising rookie to an elite force, changing how the whole gold mining game is played. But 2016 was a tough year for the Schnabel family. We lost Grandpa John, a legend in these gold fields. He was 96 and lived a life most can only dream of. But for Parker, it wasn't just losing a hero, it was losing his biggest supporter. Grandpa John had been there since Parker was a little kid, teaching him everything: how to read the land, how to run a crew, how to find that hard-to-catch gold. He built Parker up and made him strong enough to handle this crazy mining life. Now with Grandpa gone, Parker was standing alone for the first time. It was emotional, but you know Parker, that fire in his belly wouldn't let him quit. He wouldn't let Grandpa John down and vowed to carry on the legacy, making him proud. Laying Grandpa to rest, Parker took the reins of Schnabel mining. He set some serious goals: bigger digs, more gold than ever before. He even grabbed a bunch of new claims across the Yukon, including the legendary Eureka Creek, rumored to be the richest untouched ground around. Suddenly Parker wasn't just running one mine, he was a mining mogul with multiple claims scattered across the Yukon. It was a whole new ball game. He had to grow up fast, learn to plan really well, and figure out how to keep all these moving parts running smoothly. Crews were working 24/7, rentals piling up, payroll skyrocketing. The pressure was on. Parker had to get creative, squeezing every ounce of gold out of these claims. He analyzed everything, found ways to work smarter, not harder. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, though. There were mistakes, bad hires, the wrong equipment, stuff that almost ruined the whole operation. Competitors were circling, waiting for Parker to stumble. But Parker, that kid who grew up chasing gold with Grandpa John, he's got determination. He learned from his mistakes, built a stronger team, and pushed himself further than ever. Through all the hardship, Grandpa John's spirit was right there with him. And thanks to Parker's determination, the Schnabel legacy kept shining brighter than ever. Look, Parker gets it: the Yukon is a wild and beautiful place, and it needs to stay that way. Even as his mining operation exploded, Parker knew he had to be responsible. He knew he had to mine smart and keep this place beautiful for future generations. So Parker became a strong advocate for eco-friendly mining. He invested big time in fancy gear to keep nasty chemicals from leaking out and special filters to stop dirty water from messing with the rivers. Once they were done mining a spot, Parker's team would smooth things out, clearing junk and planting local plants to bring everything back to life. And it actually worked. Animals started coming back to these reclaimed areas, loving their restored home, and because Parker's a good dude, he used his fame to push for smarter mining rules in the Yukon. He worked with the top leaders to create laws that protect the environment while still letting people mine responsibly. He even became a mentor, teaching younger miners how to make money without trashing the place. Parker basically became a one-man mission to prove you can be a mining success story and take care of nature at the same time. His brain came up with new ways to get the most gold with the least lasting damage to the land he loved. Thanks to Parker's vision, the Yukon's wild beauty and its booming mining industry can coexist for years to come. By his mid-20s, Parker Schnabel was already a gold-dripping millionaire. Believe it or not, a big piece of that comes from being the star of Gold Rush. You know that show where cameras follow him around the Yukon as he hunts for gold? Apparently he was pulling in a cool $100,000 per episode. That's like $2 million a season, but hold on, that's just the first nugget in Parker's treasure chest. You see, Parker's family basically owns half the Yukon when it comes to mining claims. It's like their own personal gold mine monopoly. And with Parker at the lead, they were crushing it. One season they pulled in a whopping 3,500 ounces of gold. That's almost $5 million at today's prices. Just imagine enough gold to fill a bathtub. Year after year, Parker's mines were spitting out lots of gold, adding millions more to his already large bank account. But wait, there's more. Being the star of Gold Rush turned Parker into a global influencer. Big companies threw endorsement deals at him like crazy: mining equipment, clothing brands, you name it. Suddenly Parker wasn't just the king of the Yukon goldfields, he was a social media rock star. Parker used that fame to invest in all sorts of stuff: top-of-the-line trucks for moving around the mines, rental equipment to expand his operations, even real estate. Add all that up: TV money, mining profits, sponsorships, smart investments, and you're looking at a net worth of around $10 million and climbing. Not bad for a guy who started out playing in the dirt with his grandpa, right? But unlike some flashy millionaires you see online, Parker keeps things pretty chill. He lives on site at his mining camps in practical housing. staying close to the action. Most of his money goes right back into the business, making his operation even more impressive, but hey, even millionaires gotta treat themselves sometimes. Back home in Alaska, Parker's got a sweet place, a 45-acre estate with a log cabin that looks straight out of a magazine picture. An estate with stunning mountain views, all decked out in rustic charm with comfy furniture. The perfect place to kick back and relax after a long season, plus, forget a boring garage, Parker's got a whole toy store in there. We're talking top-of-the-line trucks, ATVs, everything he needs to explore those mines in style, but Parker's not just a one-estate kind of guy. He's got a real estate portfolio going on. There's a commercial building in Haines, Alaska, for some extra income and a vacation rental property in the Yukon Territory. Seems Parker's building his own mini-empire, and speaking of empires, let's talk about his car collection. It's enough to make any gearhead jealous. We've got a Ford Raptor, the ultimate off-road beast, perfect for crushing the Yukon land. Then there's the Mercedes G-Wagon, pure luxury for those smoother rides. Feeling classic, Parker's got a Jeep Wrangler, a true miner's ride. And for some custom awesomeness, check out his tricked-out Chevy Silverado. This guy loves his vehicles. They're a perfect blend of adventure-ready and top-notch quality. Plus they can probably handle a large amount of mud without complaining. On top of all that, there's a whole fleet of trucks and heavy equipment keeping his mining operation running like a well-oiled machine. Now when Parker actually gets some downtime, he likes to take his fancy fishing boat out or jet off on some epic trips around the world. The possibilities are endless, but here's the coolest part, Parker isn't all about himself. He takes care of the people who helped him get here. His L.O.L. crew gets treated to luxury vacations sometimes, and he throws them huge bonuses for their hard work. And one thing's for sure, Parker's generosity extends beyond his crew. He hasn't forgotten where he came from, Alaska. He's all about giving back to the local communities that helped him get here in a big way. Every season, a large piece of his gold profits goes to local charities and animal shelters, youth sports, you name it. He even helps veterans groups. Alaska winters are brutal, long, dark, and sometimes power goes out. That can be rough for people who can't afford fancy generators. So when he's not mining, Parker rolls up his sleeves and volunteers his time to build affordable housing and deliver supplies to families and seniors who need a little extra help. However, Parker's not just keeping people warm and fed. He's also investing in Alaska's future. Get this, Parker even set up a scholarship fund at his old high school. He wants to help other young people get a head start in careers like mechanics or engineering, skills that are super valuable in Alaska. Basically, he's helping others and inspiring the next generation to chase their dreams, just like he did. But gold's not everything for Parker, even though he's pretty darn good at finding it. When he's not knee-deep in a mine, this dude's got a ton of other interests. He's written a whole series of books about his family's mining history, became bestsellers too. Parker also really loves to travel. He's traveled everywhere, from steamy jungles in South America to ancient ruins in Europe. Dude loves adventure. And when he's not jetting around the globe, you can find him back in Alaska fishing, hunting, or just hiking in the mountains. Nature is his happy place. Plus, the guy's a history geek. He is fascinated by antique mining tools and stuff. He collects them like some people collect baseball cards. All these hobbies help Parker chill out and keep things balanced, even when the mining gets crazy. Keeps him dead and ready to crush it again. Parker's pushing 30, but his gold fever is stronger than ever. This dude's not content with just the Yukon. He wants a global mining empire. Next stop, British Columbia. Parker's team is scouting gem mines there, and the Northwest Territories are on his radar too. He's even got his eye on South America, Australia, Africa, basically anywhere with shiny things underground. But it's not just about more gold. Parker and his crew are inventing crazy new tech to dig smarter, not harder. Think robots, lasers, the whole sci-fi mining package. All to get that gold with less impact on the environment. Talk about a win-win. Now Parker's living the dream, but he's already thinking about the future, the Schnabel legacy. You know, his niece Amelia seems super interested in mining, just like her uncle. Parker's been showing her the ropes, and he wants to keep this a family business for years to come. Eventually, Parker might take a step back from the daily grind, focus on the big picture, and maybe even start some new adventures. Plus more time for epic travel and enjoying all that hard-earned gold, right? Sounds like a pretty sweet retirement plan. So where does Parker go from here? Well, no matter what crazy adventure he chooses next, one thing's for sure: Parker Schnabel is destined for success. Remember that little kid who learned from the mining legends? Now he's become an icon himself. Parker took everything he learned from the old-timers, made his own path, and crushed it. And guess what? The best might be yet to come. This Yukon gold mining giant isn't slowing down anytime soon. Buckle up, because Parker Schnabel's next chapter is going to be epic.